Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ala ma ba'du. So today I want to present you guys a practical exam that we are going to have in this 1st December, and we are going to talk about we're going to compare between old versions of maps and the new versions of maps. And as you can see here, we have actually two maps, but let me just give you a little bit look. There is two maps that I'm going to describe, but first of all, we're going to talk about the woodland or the lakeside. Here we are going to I'm going to explain you guys about the changes in locations between the 2000 and 2009, the prepositions, comparative language, and past and present tense that I'm going to use between the two different maps. Alright, so first of all, we're going to talk about the lakeside in 2000, which we can see it has a little bit simpler than the one we have in 2009. We're going to review it from the north. From the top north, we have the woodland with the lake. The lake are connected to the river, and we have this they're like warehouse, residential area, old town, school, art center, residential area, industrial complex, and another residential area. And this is the lakeside in 2000. If we compare with 9 years after 2000, we have in 2009 is a little bit different, but the main difference was in 2009 they added an office, and the change in the woodland is which the lake are getting smaller compared to the lake. We have a pond that is still connected to the river, but if we see that the woodland has a smaller in 2009, the woodland has a smaller pond compared to the lake in 2000. And then there's a little bit changes from the old town and the relic warehouse, which are changed to a car park, which are close to the residential area, which is beside and across from the relic warehouse. There is the old town. It is changed to an office across the car park. So I suggest, I I assume that the offices used the car park in 2009. And behind of school, we used to have an old town, but now it changed into an office and a university that is close to the woodland, which is cutting a little bit spot and creating a pond. And next to school, we have the art center, which in 2000 Lakeside. It is changed in 2029, become a multi-screen cinema, which is a better modern compare more modern building compared to an art center, because it is a multi-screen cinema. And the residential area which we used to have in 2000 are changed into a shopping center, which is uh, compared to the residential area, it has to be a function that is used for people who live in 2009. We also have three residential area in Lakeside 2000, but it has to be sold to the industrial complex, which the industrial complex become way bigger than compared to 2000, which is almost took oh, the map is about 104. But it's still they still have the river, they still have the woodland. But as you can see, compared to the woodland in 2009, the woodland are cut into smaller pieces. Now we're going to describe the another map, which is a way simpler, a more simpler map compared to the map that we've explained before. Here we have the 1980s. I assume this is a park, and now now it's 2025 park. We can see in 1980s it started with a gate, and after you enter the gate, beside of the gate was a pond and a bench where you can sit at, and behind it was a pot of flowers and also another gate to go out. Now you can see across from the gate we have this palm trees we have, and then in front of it we have the flowers and other flowers. Now we're going to compare it from 1980s into the current park. We used to have a gate and we used to have a straight path and going to the right, but now we're going to have a four junctions, which is looks more modern and a little bit more aesthetics, which they don't have a gate but they have another path added in 2025. Now the place where it used to have a gate, across from the gate, they used to have a gate, was a chair, desk, and a barbecue, which can use for picnic. And also they have a trees, but they are just added some kind of furniture that could be used for today's needs. And now we used to have flowers in 1980s, but it is changed, which is behind the bench, which added a bush. But the difference between the 1980s, the bench was over three, and the pond is now smaller, but it has a lot more benches. Next to the bush and next to the pond, we have a playground, which compared to 1980s, which only had flowers. Now the flowers are changed into something more modern and can be used by anybody, by a kid, which is the playground. Now we can see that the 1980s design was less crowded compared to the current design of the park, which the park has large, which the current park has a larger pad compared to the 1980s, and the 1980s has smaller. The 1980s has bigger trees, and the current trees has smaller ones. Alright, thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate your time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.